In this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways you can increase engagement on your live stream. Facebook lies, YouTube lies, it doesn't really matter. You can increase your engagement by doing these simple 5 things. Are you ready for it? Let's roll the titles then. Hello, my name is John, the king of video, and welcome to the channel. If you've not been to this channel before, of course, you should hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, so you're notified every single time that I go live. Now, this video is all about engagement, and when we're talking about engagement, actually, what I'm really referring to is meaningful engagement. That's what Mark Zuckerberg said when he talked about engagement for Facebook. And meaningful engagement is really getting people to do more than just hit hash replay. Although hash replay is fine, we're actually looking for a little bit more than that. So let's get started. And I'd love to tell me in the comments which one of the 5 you think is the best way to increase engagement, or if you've tried any of these, do let me know in the comments on this video. Okay, tip number 1 is to ask for engagement. You may well have spotted that I've already done this, right? In fact, I've asked you a couple of things for you to do already. The first one was to subscribe and hit the notification bell. So I'm asking you to do something because people like to be asked, right? People like to be asked and they like to take instructions. Don't think that it's a given that your passive viewers will take action on what you're delivering. So you need to ask them. Ask for the engagement. Don't think that it's a bit rubbish asking for engagement. Actually, it's not. It's the opposite. People want to be invited into your world, into what you're doing. So ask for the engagement. So the ways in which I've done this is I ask you to subscribe. And then the other thing I've done, of course, is ask you to leave a comment with your best tip. That's me asking for engagement as well. So what should happen here is you will then either take the subscribe action or you should think, okay, I'll listen to these 5 and then give you the one that I think is the best. And that's what happens in the comment. So ask for engagement. You can do this live. You can do this as part of your description, your title. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're asking in some way in every live stream that you do, not every now and again. Every live stream you do, you must ask for some engagement. Alright. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 then is a feature of software that I love called Restream. Now this is tip number 2 because I don't think I've seen this feature anywhere else. Right. So let's jump over to my screen share and I'll show you exactly what that feature is. Believe it or not, this is my mobile phone that I'm using as a webcam here. You can see me just pointing over my lens right there. This is my mobile phone that I'm using. Yes, I'm recording the video with my Sony ZVone, but this my mobile phone using something called Camo by Reincubate. The link is in the description. This is the live studio with Restream. If you check out my other videos, I'll give you a little walkthrough of Restream and how to get started with it. But for this one, I just wanted to show you something called Chat Overlay. Now, you can see as you're looking on the screen here that on the right-hand side, I've got Chat Overlay. There's a bunch of different options there. If I hit Chat Overlay, watch what happens in the studio to my video. There's a couple of things I wanted to share with you here. The first thing is I've got a graphic that you can see in here. This graphic is something that I made in Canva. If you check the link in the descriptions, I'm giving away the template for this graphic. So if you wanted to create a nice looking backdrop for your chat overlay, go to the link in the comments. You can go and download that. It's a free gift for you, really, a free graphic template that you can grab from there. Now we're in the chat overlay. So what happens here, if we just turn it back on and off again? So what happens with the chat overlay is that you see it tells you here that messages from your audience will display here. But also what it does is it moves your camera screen into the middle there. Now, what will happen is when we go live, as we're going live in the standard way, any comments that come in will appear on the right-hand side. So how does this increase engagement, Matt? Well, actually, what happens is your audience, the people that watch your live streams, love to be involved. And if they can see their name appear on your live stream, A, they'll stick around longer, and B, they're more likely to engage. In fact, what happens is there's a little bit of FOMO that goes on as well, because when people see that other people's comments are on there, it encourages them to leave comments as well because they want to see their name up in lights. Think about the old TV. It depends how old you are, I suppose. But the old TV shows, you used to do phone-ins and that thing, and you want to see your name appear. Oh my God, I'm on the TV. My name's appeared at the bottom of the screen. It's exactly the same thing in live streams as well. So Chat Overlay really does give you the ability to do that. Hey, the thing is, just be careful. There's some rogue users in the world, and they might say things that you don't really want to appear in your video. If that happens, just have your hand over this little toggle here because what happens is you can toggle it off and then back on again and it will clear out that chat overlay. And a word of warning, if you do that, you're going to miss out on all the comments as well. But if someone says something that's a little bit not PG rated, you might want to remove it off there as well, unless that's what you're looking for. You can still bring in the comments. You can still hit on the show here and bring in the comments at the bottom of your live stream, so you can highlight specific comments that come in. So that's quite a nice feature as well. But the chat overlay will be there throughout the whole of your live stream. So that's tip number 2 on how to increase engagement on your live stream. And for tip number 3, we're going to stick inside of Restream because there's another feature that I wanted to point out to you that I think is super important. And there's lots of software that's similar to Restream. Lots of software where it does similar things. Restream was the first, but there's lots of them that do similar things. But there's none other that do both chat overlay and this particular thing here. So what I want to show you is on the right hand, you can see I've got right inside, you can see I've got destinations here. If I turn these destinations on, I'm not going live when I turn these destinations on. I have to hit the go live button at the top right inside there for these destinations to actually be live. But here's something you can do, not only if you want to increase engagement, but also if you want to grow a specific platform. And that is you can point people to a specific platform. So yes, tip number 3 is all about live streaming to multiple destinations. If you combine this with Restream chat overlay, then you will see all the different comments across the multiple platforms. And that is amazing, right? You're going to get out there more often. But if you're trying to build one specific platform like I do with my Clean Your Lens show on a Monday at 8 p.m. So what I do is I go live to the multiple locations. This is fairly standard behavior now. We're used to doing this thing. But what I do is on every other platform except for YouTube, I will link to the YouTube show, right? And I'll say, if you want to join me over on my YouTube show, click on the link in the description and head over to my show. I'm going there live. I'll only answer questions or I'll only reply to the comments on YouTube. And that way I'm pushing people over there. And then once I'm done, maybe I'll give them a 5-minute preview of the show, and then I can just hit these toggles and turn them off, right? And if I'm working with a remote producer, that's great because otherwise in the show, it looks like I'm looking down and turning all these off. But whichever way you want to do it, I do a lot of this stuff on my own as well. But I'm just turning them off, and then I'll just keep the YouTube one on. So I'm going to multiple destinations, but I'm pushing them to YouTube, and then I'm turning all of this stuff off. Amazing way to increase engagement, but also specifically grow one specific channel. So tip number 3 is to stream to multiple locations, as you can see here, but turn them off when you're ready. Tip number 4 is to stick to the topic that you're talking about. You might think to yourself, well, how does this increase engagement? Actually, when you're creating a live stream, what you're doing with your topic, the thing that you're telling people what you're going to talk about is you're creating a promise, really, or you're promising your audience that if they give you their time and attention, their most valuable resource, when they come into your live stream, you are going to stick to that particular topic. You can tell stories, you can meander off, you can respond to comments, all that stuff. But you are going to stick to the topic that you said you would. This increases engagement because you're delivering on your promise and people will appreciate that. So when they come into your live streams, they'll know, especially, and this is a compounding effect that happens over time. Hey, Matt's doing this topic about the 5 best ways to increase engagement on your live streams. And when I get inside that video, inside that live stream, that promise. And then every time I see the next video or the next live stream, when Matt says he's going to talk about something, he delivers on that promise. So tip number 4 is to stick to the topic that you